Hello, friends and readers. This week we are going to start learning about author's point of view, also known as author's opinion, author's viewpoint, author's perspective. And we are going to be doing this in informational text. So, our nonfiction stories that we've been looking at, we're really focusing on this nonfiction unit that we have been doing over the course of several weeks now. So, how do you determine an author's point of view? Well, a lot of times it's by simply asking yourself some of these questions. How does the text sound? Does it have a positive tone or a negative tone? And when we say this, it's how is the author speaking about the topic? Does the author seem to side with one thing or another? What does the author focus on and continue to repeat? You are looking for strong and powerful words that show how the author is feeling. So we're just going to think about a hypothetical topic. So say we're reading about the rainforest. If the author talks in a positive tone about really wanting to save the rainforest and seems to side with the fact that we should preserve rainforests and tells us all the benefits that they have, we would know that the author has a positive view about saving the rainforest. Now, if the author said that rainforests aren't important and cutting down trees isn't really a big deal, we can tell that the author might have a negative tone. Now, an author's point of view can be different from your own, and I think that's one thing we really need to recognize. When we're talking about what's the author's point of view, we're not asking how you feel as the reader or what your opinion is. It's what is the opinion of the author? What have they said to give us an idea of what they are thinking about, right? So if your favorite animal is a dog, but we're reading a story where the author's writing about cats, we don't want to talk about what your opinion is. We want to focus on what is the author's opinion and what their point of view is and about their favorite animal. So we really want to make sure that we are keeping our own personal bias out of these articles when we're reading them, because we're really focusing on what is the author trying to convey. So when we're talking about author's point of view, understanding the difference between an author's point of view and your own will help you understand different ways to look at a topic. So just what I was saying. So when we read, point of view is the way we think or feel about something. For example, you might have a certain kind of music that you like, but a friend may think that that kind of music is terrible and hate it. You both have different points of views about that kind of music. Authors often give their point of view about topics. They do this by using opinion words such as best, worst, beautiful, like, dislike, feel, believe. And as you read, you will figure out the author's point of view, and you will notice it by looking at keywords like this. An author is allowed to have an opinion. When they're writing articles or when you're reading and learning about something, an author is allowed to have a different point of view than you. There is a difference between fact and opinion. So when we look at this cartoon, we see a woman and she's looking at a piece of artwork. Then she goes and she's writing a review about the artwork. Here's what she says. I saw a new artist's work today. This painting is so ugly, I can't believe it's in a museum. When we look at this cartoon, we see that the person writing about this, the author, is a woman. By reading the words, I saw a new artist today, the painting is so ugly, I can't believe it's in a museum, we can tell that her point of view is that this artwork is ugly and she dislikes it. She does not like this painting at all. Well, how do we know that? She said things like it's ugly. I can't believe it's in a museum. Now, this is her point of view of the painting, though. We learned it by seeing some of the descriptive words she used to describe this painting. So when we look at an author's point of view, remember, it's their opinion and it's what they think. So someone else could have a different opinion. However, when we're looking for the author's point of view, we're looking for the details that they use to describe whatever topic they're discussing. Which leads me to, what is fact and what is an opinion? When you read articles, you need to understand that there's a difference between something that's a fact, which means it's based on something that can be proven, and then something else is an opinion. It's a statement about what a writer thinks. When you read, you need to identify when something is a fact versus when someone's sharing what they think and believe. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this little article and we're going to discuss the difference between fact and opinion. So, dogs around the world. Most dogs are pets, but there are still wild dogs in different parts of the world. I think the jackal found in Africa, Asia, and Europe is the most dangerous. In Australia, the dingo is a native wild dog. Another wild dog is a coyote in North America. So when we think about this, who or what is this paragraph about? Well, it's about it's about dogs around the world. Some examples are jackals, coyotes, dingoes. These are all facts. Right now, the author is talking about these specific things, right? They're talking about dogs. Those are real. That's a fact. They've named different types of wild dogs and where some of these animals are found. Well, they're found in Asia, Europe, and Africa. These things are solid information that can be proven. Why? Because these animals actually live in the wild and we have observed it, not ourselves, but possibly someone else has and then shared that opinion. Now, when we're thinking about an opinion, what judgment does the author make about jackals? When we look at this, we can see that the author said, I think. When an author says, I think, this is a sign of them showing their opinion. It says, I think jackals are the most dangerous. We do not know if that's 100% factual. So in this case, that becomes an opinion. How could you prove that that was a fact? Well, if this author wanted to prove that jackals are the most dangerous, they would have to then go do some research on their own and figure out why or how this jackal is dangerous and how it's more dangerous than other animals. So when we're identifying facts and opinions, we really want to focus on the feeling words that the author might be using and what they are describing, whereas facts, we want to know or see that it can be proven. So when we look at this article, outdoor movies, the best way to see a movie is at a drive-in theater. These outdoor theaters had their beginnings in 1933 in Riverton, New Jersey. Richard Halsted Jr. set up a movie screen in front of his garage. Later that year, he opened a real drive-in theater in the town of Camden. The theater had room for 400 cars. What a clever idea. When we look at this, we know that this movie theater had room for 400 cars. This is a fact. This is something that was proven. They know for sure that this movie theater is a statement that can be checked out and researched. The best way to see a movie is in a drive-in theater is an opinion. Some people might enjoy a drive-in movies, others might not. This sentence tells what the writer is thinking, and it cannot be proven one way or another. These outdoor theaters have had their beginning in 1933 in Riverton, New Jersey. This statement tells when and where, and it can be proven. So when we're thinking about this, we know that opinions can be shared. But Facts can also be a part of an article as well. So sometimes when the author is trying to prove their point, they use facts to support their opinion. When we look at this, we see in 3 and 4, our third and fourth sentence, that there are facts and they can be proven. But the last sentence is a judgment. What a clever idea. So, as we read, we're going to think about author's point of view. And remember, when we're doing this, we want to separate our facts and opinions from one another. So, go ahead and get started and enjoy.